Michael Stone joining me today. He's in for Mike Valenti. We're asking Tiger fans the question. They are now 5.5 games out of the wild card spot. Is this team just officially become summer background noise, or are you still holding out hope that they can turn things around? Because, Stoney, I think you may have hit it best. They become must-watch TV once every 5 games when Scooble's on the mound.
Yeah.
Because when Scooble's on the mound, you're wondering, hey, can you throw a no-hitter? Can you just go out there and dominate? That is the only time you turn on the Tigers and you feel confident this game's going to end in a win for the Tigers.
Look, he's obviously, he had 4 runs the other night and had 1 bad inning, and he's not going to win every game. Like I mentioned the great, seasons. Carlton was 27-10. Ron Guidry was 25-3. Great left-handed pitchers. They don't sit there and expect them to win every game. But yes, when a guy's a Cy Young candidate, you want to watch. The other thing to look forward to is hopefully Flaherty will continue to pitch well, and you can get something really good at the deadline, which is going to be interesting because he's a rental.
Yes, I think for Flaherty, you're going to get a prospect. I don't think you're going to get an everyday player. You're going to get hopefully not even a top prospect, but I would say maybe a second-tier prospect.
They better get at least a top 7 to 8 prospect on every team any team that he goes to, because you're right.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying you're probably looking at like 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
That prospect. You're not getting 1 through 4.
I don't think so. But if you do, that'd be great. But you're not gonna get an everyday player, because the team that wants John Flaherty or Jack Flaherty does not want, or is not going to give up somebody, because they need somebody, right now as well.
So they know he's just a rental player. They're going to have to re-sign him. 248-539-9797. For me, they became background noise watching them against the Astros, and this was a series that you should have won. Astros are worse than you are. They're dealing with injuries. You're not. You're just dealing with players down and AAA, and this was a series you were supposed to take. And the only game that you won was because Justin Verlander got scratched. Because I do believe if he pitches, you got swept.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just a realization. And it was funny because I was watching you as you were typing it out. But, yeah, this team's just not fun anymore.
No.
They're not fun. And I think once you just give up the ghost and realize this team is just their background noise, they're good for the summer. We'll see what happens. You can still go down to a ball game, hang out with friends or your significant other, enjoy a hot dog, beer, whatever. But as far as sitting there and saying, okay, well, if we can win this and we can win this, and if they can hit that winning streak, then maybe we can. I'm giving up on that. My number, I said before, if you could stay within 5, north of 5, out of the wild card, we could talk. You're dipping down. I don't see how this thing is going to change. And it's just not fun anymore.
All right. To tell you how bad this team is, I'm going to ask you a question here, Rico. The voting for the first, I think it's the first set of numbers that came out for the All-Star teams today, voting. So we have the top 10 in every position except outfielders, where you have top 20. So you're talking position players plus DH, top 10,
This is
top 20 of
depressing,
outfielders. How many Tigers do you think got enough votes to be top 10 in first, second, short, third, DH, catcher, and top 20 for outfielders? How many Tigers?
1.
You're too high. 0.
I said, wait, is it? See, I try to be positive, David, and see what happens.
0.
You see what happens?
No way.
0. I'm looking at this right now, and unless my eyes are never very good, but
no, if you think about it.
Now, even the Oakland Athletics, their designated hitter, Brent Rooker, who, of course, hit a few home runs against the Tigers early in the season, he's 7th as far as DHs. Outfielders, Riley Green's not even listed in the top 20.
See, that was the only one that I thought, Riley Green.
Right.
Other than that, Stoney, let's be real. When you look at this team, I've often said, here's the deal.
Yeah.
If the Tigers just said, take anybody off of out of the starting lineup, you can have them, we'll pay the salary, but the condition is they have to start for you immediately. You're taking no one. No one on this team would start on any playoff team at all.
Even the Angels, because I'm sure Trout probably still gets some votes.
But I mean, in baseball, you have to remember it is a popularity contest.
Yes, right.
Because I thought that for a second you were going to say Javi Baez was on there. And I was just going to, at that point, Mike, it was just going to be you doing the show to 6 o'clock.
Carlos Correa, by the way, was 10th. Shortstop. It's amazing. Every single team in the American League has at least one person in the top 10 at the positions, top 20 for outfielders, except one.
Thank God
and
for
that team
Scooble.
is the Detroit Tigers.
Thank God for Scooble. He'll be our lone representative.
Yes, and deservedly so. It's not going to be.
You know what?
Like,
here's my side note, Michael, and you've watched baseball longer than I. I've never agreed with that you have to have a representative from every team.
No, I think you do for baseball. It's good.
I don't because
when you're a little
charity.
Yeah, but
I grew up watching Lou Whitaker ground out in the 7th inning. Yay!
But when I was a kid, when it was even before the game started. When you're 8, 9 years old, and they say representing the Philadelphia Phillies, Wayne Twitchell, who had like one good half of a season. You say, yeah, that's our guy. That's our guy.
No.
When you're a kid, it's okay.
David, Sonny, I thought about that until the Tigers would get in the lineup, and I remember it was Whitaker one year, and I think they lost his jersey at the airport.
That was in Minnesota.
So they literally had to go, they had to go run to a sporting goods store and get a Tigers jersey and took a black marker and just put number 1 on the back.
See, you're looking at this through the eyes of a seasoned broadcast veteran, Rico Beard.
No.
You're not looking at this as 7-year-old Rico Beard.
Stoney, that was just it because I got Lance Parrish is now up, but they would always come in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning.
But those guys at least deserve to be all-stars.
At the time, no, I'm not talking like 84 Tigers when they were really good. I'm talking before that, and it was just like they would send one guy, and there's Jason Thompson, and he grounds out. Okay, there's Steve Kemp, and he strikes out.
Well, baseball now, because I would not advocate it for basketball or hockey or football. Baseball, it's just, it's the summer.
And
the rosters are like 30 guys.
Yeah, I was very excited to see Travis Fryman in 1996.
I was
no, thank you.
No, you didn't care about what he did at the plate. You cared about that he tipped his hat on the sideline. He got introduced because one of your guys was in there. Absolutely. Am I alone in this?
Yeah, you are alone.
Oh, my Lord.
Stoney, when I was young.
When you were a kid.
No, when I was young, yes. I would get excited. But then when they got into the game, it was like so disappointing. Like, because I would end up staying up late because I want to see the Tiger get in and bat and nothing.
Excited to see Mike Henneman in 1989.
Go ahead. They have some classics.
They do. I'm looking through this now.
Did Damian Easley make it one year, maybe?
Damian Easley, 1998. Brad Ausmus, 1999.
Ranks right up there with the Brandon Inge home run contest.
Yes, that was worse.
Yay, Inge!
Yay!
No, Inge!
But hey, he's from Detroit. Just act like you pull something.
I just think if they're going to have the All-Star game, you got to think of it. I think the kids like to see at least have one player introduced, see that old English D.
Yeah, Stoney, I don't know if we may be a dying breed. I don't know if kids even watch the All-Star game anymore.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
Like for us, yeah. I mean, All-Star game was must watch.
Well, a lot of that is because, and not to sound old and fuddy-duddies, because interleague play didn't exist.
Right.
The only time as a kid I ever got to see like Al Kaline play was if the Tigers were on the NBC Game of the Week on that Saturday, the All-Star game, or in '68 when they went to the World Series and won it. That's it. I never got to see Al Kaline play.
True. 2-4-8-5.
And people from around here never got to see Willie Mays play.
Well, hopefully, you know what? Because Scooble may start, that'll be fun.
Yes. Well, he's well deserved.
Right. But then again,
we're talking about the fringe guys that aren't really all-stars, but
there's nobody.
They're very good at doffing their cap.
And from Detroit, hooray! Go sit at the end of the bench, son. We'll get you in. Yeah, you're one of those guys. Either we'll get you in if we're up a lot or we're down a lot.
Zach McKinstry, hooray!
Well,
what are you talking about, man?
No, but he's not one of those guys because he sucks. At least usually they have somebody who's having a decent year. I mean, come on. You're the kid.
Yeah, you were excited to see Robert Fick in 2002.
David, your sons, they'll be telling their grandkids about
Mark Canna.
when Greg Soto was introduced as an all-star.
No,
right?
I just told Kenny we'll be at a tournament that week of the All-Star game.
Right.
I told my son weeks ago, I said, get with your team. They want to get together. We'll go to a restaurant, watch the game together. He got with me a week later, says they don't want to watch the game. So they don't care about the All-Star game.
Okay.
At least they're playing baseball. I'll give him that.
Riley Green's the only one that I would like to see don the cap, and I don't think he's even going to make it. 248-539-9797. We'll get back. Tigers, are you still hanging in there? Are you still invested?
No.
Or have you opted out like Stoney and I? Your phone calls, your ticket text next.